Have you ever spent months or even years pouring your life savings, endless late nights, and every drop of your energy into building a product, only to launch it into a deafening silence of the market that simply does not care? The statistics is a reality and it is very staggering. Over 90% of startups fail, and the number one reason, accounting for 42 of those deaths, is not running out of cash or getting beaten by competitors. It is building something that nobody actually wants in the first place. Think about it. Imagine quitting your job, locking yourself in a room for 6 months, spending $50,000 on custom development, UI design, and trademarking, and then finally opening the door to launch day, only for 0 users to sign up and 0 sales to roll in. Most entrepreneurs treat business like a blockbuster movie release. They hide in secret and build a masterpiece and pray for a standing ovation. But pouring resources into an unvalidated vision isn't brave. It is a massive and expensive gamble. The common consensus is simple. To succeed, you need a flawless 50-page business plan of months of upfront market research, massive initial seed capital, and flawless execution of your complete product feature set before you even show it to a customer. We've been sold the myth that genius founders see the full feature from day one and just execute straight right into success. I criticized, yes, and I also critiqued that traditional model, and I realized it is completely dangerous in today's fast-moving economy. In the book, The Lean Startup, Eric Ries proved that a detailed business plan in an uncertain market is a pure fiction. Science fiction. Aliens on the earth, exactly. Men landing on the sun. That is exactly where you are going to. When you operate under extreme uncertainty, traditional management tools fail. Spending months perfecting a product before testing it with 3 customers doesn't reduce your risk. It actually does what? It multiplies it. Your risk is bigger than you can ever imagine. I've investigated how some of the most dominant digital companies were actually built from scratch. When Nick Swirm launched an online shoe called Zappos, he didn't build a massive warehouse, signed a supply chain deal, or hire a 50-man team. He walked down to his local shoe store, took photos of their inventory, posted the pictures online, and when someone ordered the product, he brought the shoe at full price, mailed it to them. He spent practically $0 to prove the single most critical hypothesis. People were actually ready to buy shoes over the internet. Look at Drew Houston launching Dropbox. Instead of spending years writing complex code, synchronization architecture across dozens of operating systems, he made a simple 3-minute video demonstrating how the software would look. That simple video drove their beta waiting list from 50,000 people to, guess how many? A whooping 75,000 people overnight before the product was even finished. If you are short on time and need the ultimate takeaway right now, here is the core thesis of Eric Ries' The Lean Startup. Startup success is not the result of good genes or being in the right place at the right time. It is a systematic, repeatable process of validated learning through rapid scientific experimentation. You got that right? You can now scroll to the next video. But for those who want to know how all these pieces fit together to build a resilient, scalable venture, let's explore the 7 main key takeaways in the Lean Startup. Takeaway number 1, titled the Build, Measure, Learn Feedback Loop. The entire Lean methodology, which Eric Ries calls the build, measure, learn loop was analyzed by me. Ries writes, the fundamental activity of a startup is to turn ideas into products, measure how customers respond, and learn whether to pivot or persevere. Most founders focus heavily on the build phase, assuming their job is just to code or design or make an inventory. But the primary goal of a lean startup isn't to build features. It is to minimize the total time through this loop. I verified this in modern digital development. Instead of planning a 6-month roadmap, structure your strategy in tight 2-week cycles. Define your core assumption. Build the simplest artifact possible to test it. Put it in front of real users. Measure their actual behavioral data and instantly verify those things. If you are building an automated trading bot or a new SaaS tool, don't build 20 features for crying out loud. Build the core mechanism, test live execution on a micro scale, and let the real user data dictate your next development. Is it not sounding logical? It's sounding very, very wise. This matters because whoever learns what the market actually wants fastest wins. Speed of iteration beats perfection every single time. So let's pause a little bit. So have you ever spent weeks working on a feature or a business idea only to realize that users don't care about it at all? Drop loop in the comment right now. Let's see if you have been caught in that loop trap before. But running this feedback loop is impossible if you fall into the trap of overbuilding your initial offering. Takeaway number 2, titled The Minimum Viable Product, MVP. I explored Rice's concept of the minimum viable product, or MVP. An MVP is not a sloppy, broken product. It's the absolute simplest version of a product that allows you to complete one full cycle of the build, measure, learn loop with the least amount of effort and development time. Eric Ries explicitly states, if you do not know who the customer is, you do not know what quality is. I tested this through lean operational models. An MVP can be a simple landing page or an explainer video or a manual concierge service or a pre-order campaign. If a founder wants to launch a tech luxury subscription box, they shouldn't order 10,000 custom units from factory suppliers upfront. They should create a clean landing page with 500 in targeted social ads. If 100 people click buy now, you have validated demand. If 0 people click, you have saved $50,000 and months of headache. An MVP protects your capital and time by forcing you to trade your assumptions for hard behavioral evidence before you scale. Back when I was launching my own digital project, I lost thousands of dollars and months of building complex features that nobody actually ended up using. I was running blindly on assumption instead of actual market data. To help you implement the exact framework from Lean Startup without making those costly mistakes, I have put together an exclusive bundle of Lean Startup resources, including MVP validation checklists, Lean Canvas templates, and A/B testing frameworks. You can grab all these right now in the link in the description or in the pinned comments below. Now, once you have launched your MVP, there is one major psychological trap that ruins most founder analytics. Takeaway number 3, titled Actionable Metrics versus Vanity Metrics. I examined how startups track their performance, focusing on the distinction between vanity metrics and actionable metrics. Eric Ries once, vanity metrics are dangerous because they appeal to our ego, but they do not reflect the health of the business. Vanity metrics are the total registered users, page views, app download, or press mentions. Numbers that go up and they do not translate into retention of profits. I remembered when Facebook launched their app Thread to rival Twitter. He got so many downloads. He got like 100 million downloads in 1 week. But after that 1 week, so many people quietly left Thread and went back to Twitter. That is now called X. You see? So the founder, of course, I know they have passed this stage. However, if it is a regular founder, he will be very happy. 5 million downloads, 10 million downloads, 80 million downloads, 100 million downloads. But does it really reflect the health of the business? It does not. A company might brag about having 100 app downloads, just as I have mentioned, a vanity metric. But if 98% of those users open the app once and delete it, the business is dying. Actionable metric measure real customer value. For example, a 30-day retention rate, or repeated purchase frequency, or cost per acquisition versus lifetime value, and the net promoter score. Vanity metrics make you feel good, but actionable metrics shows you the brutal truth. If your metrics aren't helping you to make strategic decisions, ignore them. Drop a comment with metrics right now if you are going to audit your business for vanity metrics this week. Tackling the actionable metrics leads directly into the hardest business decision any founder will ever have to make. Takeaway number 4, titled The Pivot or Persevere Decision. I researched the mechanics of the pivot. A pivot is a structured strategic change designed to test a new fundamental hypothesis about the product, business model, or engine of growth without changing the ultimate version. Ries stresses a pivot is a change in strategy without changing the vision. The worst thing a founder can do is to stay stuck in faith-based execution, ignoring bad metrics out of stubborn pride. We have applied this framework to historical pivot example. Let's look at Facebook. No, let's look at YouTube. It started as a failed video dating site called Tune in Hookup. When the founders analyzed user behavior, they realized users ignored the dating profiles but were aggressively uploading random videos. They pivoted the product to focus purely on video hosting, turning a dying startup into a multi-billion-dollar empire. Hold regular pivot or persevere meetings every month and ask some important questions. For example, do our metrics justify our current strategy, or do we need to shift our customer segment, revenue model, or feature set? Pivoting is not failure, it's learning. Failing to pivot when your data tells you to stop is just justifying willful blindness that leads to catastrophic devastation in your business. If you are getting high value insight from this breakdown of the lean startup, take a quick second right now to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Hit that button now to stay right in the curve. This structural flexibility becomes even more powerful when you master scientific testing method. Takeaway number 5, titled Split Testing and Validated Learning. I compared data on product optimization relying on Rice's emphasis on split test or the A/B test. Validated learning is not about asking customers what they want in a survey. Customers rarely know what they want until they see it. Validated learning is measuring actual behavior under controlled experimental conditions. Contextualize this by comparing two distinct versions of a product or marketing message simultaneously. Split your traffic in half. Offer version A of your offer to 50% of your audience, and version B with a different price point or headline or feature placement to the other 50%. If version B convert at 8% and version A convert at 2%, you have scientific proof of customers' preference. Never rely on opinion or mental debate when you can run a 24 to 48 hour split test. Opinion causes endless internal debates. Split tests give you undeniable market truths. Let the market settle the argument. What's one test or pricing experiment you have been afraid to run in your business? Let me know in the comment with testing, so we can discuss strategies to help you advance. There is one common mistake, however, that destroys a startup efficiency right when they are scaling. Takeaway number 6, titled Small Batches Sizes and Just-in-Time Production. So I've evaluated operational workflow adapted from Toyota's lean manufacturing system. Eric Ries introduced the power of small batch sizes. The intuitive belief is that working in large batches, like coding a complete year-long software update or manufacturing 5,000 physical products at once, creates economics of scale and saves money. Working in large batches hides bugs, delay feedbacks, and inflate inventory costs. If you write 1,000 lines of code before testing, finding a single bug that breaks the app is a nightmare. If you release micro updates in small batches continuously, any flaw is caught instantly, isolated, and fixed within hours. Small batches sizes dramatically reduce cycle time, catches error almost instantly, and keep your business nimble enough to react to real-time market shifts. And that brings us to the final engine that powers long-term compounding. Takeaway number 7, titled The 3 Engines of Growth. I trace how startup achieve sustainable growth using Eric Ries' framework of the 3 engines of growth: the sticky engine, the viral engine, and the paid engine. Sustainable growth is defined simply: new customers come from action of our past customers. I verified how this engine functions across top tech giants. The sticky engine focuses on the maximum retention, like SaaS companies, Slack or Microsoft 365. Where keeping customers churn ultra low automatically drives compounding value. The viral engine relies on loop mechanisms like Dropbox or TikTok, where using the products naturally invites others to join. The paid engine relies on mathematical arbitrage like direct customer to customer e-commerce brand, where your customer's lifetime value $300 comfortably exceed your customer acquisition cost $50. Don't try to run all 3 engines at once. Identify the single growth engine that fits your business model and optimize it relentlessly until you hit true scale. Today, you learn the core framework for building a high growth, low estate startup, strategic from Eric Ries' campaign. Learn how the build, measure, learn loop drives rapid execution. You discovered how to protect your capital using a minimum viable product. You separated ego-boosting vanity from actual actionable metrics. You learned when to take the critical pivot or persevere decisions. You build a scientific experiment using split test and validated learning. You optimize your workflow using small batches. And finally, you identify your primary engine of growth and scalability. Before watching this, it was easy to fall into the traditional trap of spending months hiding in a room, spending money blindly and hoping your unvalidated product will somehow hit the jackpot. But now, you don't have to build on guesswork. You propose a scientific battle-tested framework that runs experimentally